Ella was a tiny ear, soft and warm, nestled on the side of a little girl named Mia's head. She loved to listen to the rustling leaves, the bubbling creek, and the distant chirping of birds. Ella often wondered about the sounds beyond her little corner of the world. What whispers did the wind carry? What songs did the river sing? Every morning, as Mia played in the garden, Ella would catch snippets of the world's many voices. She heard the squirrels chattering as they raced up the old oak tree, their tiny claws scratching against the rough bark. She listened to the bees buzzing as they danced from flower to flower, their wings humming like a tiny orchestra. The world around her felt alive, each sound a note in a beautiful, never-ending song. One sunny morning, Ella heard a butterfly whisper to a flower, "Tell me your dreams." The flower, swaying in the breeze, replied, "I dream of rainbows and raindrops." Ella smiled, her tiny curves tingling with joy. She had just heard her first secret. As the day went on, Ella listened closely. She discovered that each flower had a dream. The daisies dreamed of long sunlit days, the violets whispered about cool, misty mornings, and the roses murmured about the warmth of summer's embrace. Ella felt like she was peeking into a secret garden, each petal holding a whispered hope. That night, Ella listened as the stars began to peek through the velvet sky. Suddenly, a soft, echoing hoot drifted through the cool air. It was the old owl from the ancient oak tree. "Who goes there?" he called. Ella shivered with excitement. A voice from the shadows. She listened as the owl spread his wide, silent wings and took flight, his feathers whispering against the night wind. "The stars are my companions," he murmured as he soared over the sleeping garden, his voice deep and wise. Ella felt a tiny thrill, her curves tingling with wonder. One rainy afternoon, the soft patter of raindrops filled the air. Ella felt each drop as a tiny beat, creating a rhythm that made her wish she could tap along. The world sounded like a song, and Ella felt like the conductor of a tiny, hidden orchestra. As the rain poured down, Ella imagined the world as a giant drum, each leaf and stone an instrument in nature's band. She heard the splashing of puddles as Mia jumped and laughed, her boots sending ripples through the tiny lakes forming on the garden path. It was a joyful, splashing symphony, and Ella felt her curves sway with each drop. As summer settled in, Ella discovered the nightly song of crickets. Their chirping rose and fell like a gentle wave, a lullaby to the sleepy world. Ella imagined herself swaying to the chorus, part of the grand, humming concert. One night, Ella listened closely as the crickets chirped beneath the cool, moonlit sky. She felt the gentle pulse of their song, each note a tiny heartbeat. She imagined the crickets as tiny musicians, each one plucking a delicate string in the grass, their voices rising in a gentle, shimmering wave. When autumn arrived, the trees whispered to one another as the wind played through their branches. Ella listened as each leaf fluttered to the ground, each with a soft, crisp goodbye. She felt a little sad, but the sounds made her feel cozy, wrapped in the warmth of each rustling goodbye. As the days grew shorter, Ella heard the crunch of Mia's boots on fallen leaves, each step a tiny, crackling echo. She listened to the wind as it whispered through the bare branches, carrying the last whispers of summer away on its breath. Winter brought quiet, the snow muffling the world. Ella listened closely, catching the soft crunch of footsteps, the gentle crackle of a cozy fire, and the distant song of a lone robin. It was a different kind of music, one of stillness and peace. Ella loved the way the world seemed to hold its breath, each sound crisp and clear against the cold air. She listened as Mia built a snowman, the sound of her laughter a bright, warm note against the frosty silence. With the first buds of spring, Ella heard the world awaken. Baby birds chirped for the first time, and the creek bubbled joyfully as the ice melted away. Ella felt alive, her curves tingling with each new sound of life. As the days grew warmer, Ella listened to the soft rustle of new leaves, the whisper of tiny wings as butterflies returned, and the joyful songs of frogs calling to one another from the garden pond. It was a celebration of life, and Ella felt her curves hum with each joyful note. As the years passed, Ella continued to listen. To laughter, to whispers, to the gentle breathing of her little girl as she slept. She had learned that each sound was a story, each whisper a secret, and every rustle a promise of life. And she, Ella the little ear, would always be there to listen. Ella knew that as long as there were sounds to hear and whispers to catch, she would never truly be alone. Her world was full of music, and her journey of listening would never end. With the first buds of spring, Ella heard the world awaken. Baby birds chirped for the first time, and the creek bubbled joyfully as the ice melted away. Ella felt alive, her curves tingling with each new sound of life. As the days grew warmer, Ella listened to the soft rustle of new leaves, the whisper of tiny wings as butterflies returned, and the joyful songs of frogs calling to one another from the garden pond. It was a celebration of life, and Ella felt her curves hum with each joyful note.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the adventure, please give us a like, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button to follow our channel for more magical stories. Join us next time for another exciting journey. Sweet dreams and see you soon.